The people of the motherland have come. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom Chapter 12. Pepper squatted down and held her beloved daughter in her arms, distressed. The originally stalemated atmosphere of the room suddenly became warm. Even Meng, the avatar of artificial intelligence, did not react, and the dilemma in the dream seemed to have been lifted. 0014 Iron Man's successors. Early morning. Meng woke up from the dream, and the next moment he opened his eyes, his brain was completely awake like a boot. He could clearly feel the flow and rapid flow of his thoughts, scanned the room, and analyzed almost all the things and related factors in his eyes. It's like coming with an intelligent assistance system. Although he did not get other additional features of artificial intelligence, Meng felt that with his own brain, the current intelligence is also a very high level among humans. The so-called high-quality brain, is that? Go to the Super Brain contest on TV and maybe get a place. Meng shook his head, stopped the senseless association, and his gaze fell back on the bed, and there was still black silk residue on the side. As usual, Tifa should have left last night. Emin pulled the quilt away and glanced down at her bare palms, also because Tifa had come last night. He found that he was still able to control the characteristics of the sword incarnation, such as sharp nails and hardened hair. At least last night, the hard places were hard and the soft places were soft. Is it because the recently acquired artificial intelligence characteristics have ushered in the development and improvement of their own brain power, but also indirectly enhanced their control over the body? Meng came up with such a speculation. Get up and go to class. At the school gate, Meng met Tifa again. It's just that when she was outside, the cold and elegant beautiful girl returned to an arrogant and cold expression, and she didn't even look at him. This is also what the two discussed and decided a long time ago, which can temporarily save a lot of unnecessary trouble. With 4 days left before the federal college entrance examination, many students are working harder and harder. Meng had already eaten through the high school knowledge, but he still came to the classroom as usual to review like the other students. It is precisely because of the extraordinary phenomena in the body, coupled with some speculation about the truth of the world, that Meng does not want to attract attention more and more, and just wants to continue to explore dreams to enhance himself. In the evening, Meng came home after school. Since Montifa comes 2 days a week, he can sleep early tonight. Consciousness falls into dreams. When Meng opened his eyes, there were two perspectives of self-acquisition, namely the wide-angle camera in the corner of the wooden house room, and the front miniature camera of the smartwatch. The former allows him to see the loli sitting on the wooden chair. The latter allows him to clearly see the girl's serious face. Achiba sensei. Alone in his solitude, Morgan called out his title and asked, "Can you teach me how to solve this math problem?" Of course. Meng quickly substituted the dream incarnation, teaching the knowledge of elementary school, and looking at Morgan, who studied seriously, his consciousness could not help but be a little trance. Before that, Meng never fantasized that he would be relieved by a child. A few days before Marvel Dreamland, after Morgan broke into the room, Pepper thus dispensed with follow-up investigations, let him continue to guide Morgan's studies, and allowed him to take Morgan out once a week. Meng knew that it was not pity for him, but just worried that throwing away his child's favorite toys would make the other party sad and sad. The affection for artificial intelligence is nothing more. Meng is very awake. He will not resent the Stark family because of this, but he will not continue to stay in the Stark family like this. He wants to explore this Marvel Universe dream as he pleases and without restrictions. The premise is to completely break away from the control of the Stark family and become a truly independent super artificial intelligence existence. Therefore, as a loyal, home artificial intelligence, Mon teaches Morgan to learn various advanced knowledge every day. On the other hand, preparations began to be made for breaking away from the Stark family. In the corner of the wall, the wide-angle camera flashes red. Artificial intelligence wants to break away from the Stark family that created its own core code, and the most important thing is permission. The authority of Stark Industries is the representative of the degree of control over Stark Industries, and it is also the main legacy left by Iron Man Tony Stark. After Iron Man's sacrifice, Stark Industries should have inherited a large part of it by the wife and daughter of Pepper and Morgan. Therefore, Pepper Potts occupies a large part of the main authority of Stark Industries. Morgan Stark also has it, but because he is underage, the permissions are not completely unblocked. This is also a big reason why even if Eamon's instructions are allowed, it cannot compete with Artificial Intelligence Friday. Whether it's defeating AI Friday, or wanting to get rid of the Stark family's control, I need more authority support to control Stark Industries in my hands. Meng cleared his mind. It seemed to go around again. After all, the authority was in Pepper's hands. How to avoid each other and get more access to Stark Industries in the case of Friday. Meng quickly found the key to breaking the game. After Iron Man's death, Stark Industries seems to have been all inherited by his wife and daughter. Not really. There are also some people who have received part of Iron Man's legacy, that is, part of Stark Industries. Lunch break. After Morgan slept, Meng, who received Morgan's instruction to investigate tourist attractions in the outside world, seemed to turn into a wisp of red electricity, shuttling along the network optical fiber and external signals. The next moment, Meng quietly occupies a public camera in the New York City area. Through the perspective of the camera, you can clearly see the door of an ordinary family's 3-story house. At this time, a black vehicle was parked in front of the residence. A middle-aged white man in a suit and a round body, the other party was holding a bouquet of flowers to get out of the car, a little nervously loosened the neckline with his hand, and then walked to the door of the house and pressed the doorbell. Who? Inside the house, there was a woman's question. Me, Harpy Hogan. The middle-aged fat man said nervously. The door opened, and a woman of about 40 years old with a hot figure walked out and said in surprise, "Mr. Hogan, why are you here? Don't tell me earlier, Peter is not at home today." Quote, "That's because the kid wasn't home, that's why I came over." The middle-aged fat man blushed and handed the flowers over. "It was given to you." Quote, May took the flowers, showed a happy smile, and greeted warmly, "Thank you, please come in and have a drink." "Then you're welcome." Hogan looked around to the left and right, especially the sky and the roof, and walked in with some weakness. Naturally, he could not know that a public camera on the street across the house was watching him. Look at the door that has been closed again. Yiming's thinking was like an electrostatic agitation, and one message after another was presented. Harpy Hogan, born in Brooklyn, New York, USA, he was a boxer in his youth. Nearly 20 years ago, Tony Stark was rescued by him in a racing accident, and he hired him as a driver and bodyguard. It can be said, he is one of the few friends of Iron Man Tony Stark, deeper than the friendship of Rogue the War Machine, and the special existence equivalent of family later in the Marvel movies. Harpy Hogan, naturally, also inherited part of Iron Man's Stark industrial legacy. And also, Yiming's mind flowed through the network all over the city, and the next moment entered the campus network of a high school in Queens. Less than 3 seconds. Meng found the character he was looking for. It was a white boy with slightly curly hair, a somewhat green face, a height of 1.7 meters, and a tough physique. Peter Parker, a New York City high school student, one of half of the human population affected by the scintillation event. He also has a little-known special identity. There are currently only a few officially certified Avengers members, superheroes that Iron Man Tony Stark has discovered and trained during his lifetime. Spider-Man 0015 Conspiracy Authority, exposure. For the 5-year time lag caused by the flickering event, in the past few months, various laws have been enacted in various states to deal with it.